We got the right arrows and the P painted. Time for the third transfer. We got a time lapse going across the alley. All right, we're gonna paint the letter A. We need a little bit of duct tape. All right, this is great. So the paper is going to go through really nicely. We can match that up. That matches up. This is good. It's about as good as it gets. Let's get a piece of paper ready. Tear that so that'll lay down flat. Oh, that's good. That's a good. Doesn't usually work out that well. Wow, look how close it is. Which way do we have to go? Away from me. A hair. We've got it. We're in place. I like this. It like never works out this well. This is the first time I've done a transfer like this where the letter A is a triangular piece of paper like that. Let's just drink it in. Kidding, let's get to work. Ah! Okay. Hi, I'm Greg Gannon of the Baltimore Gannons, painter of signs and murals. I suppose I'm about my feet. Probably about 16 feet off the ground. This is called a pounce pattern. Or I'm told a cartoon, which is derived from the older word Khartoum, which is a city in the Middle East somewhere, where they developed this technique. Khartoum, cartoon. It's all the same. That might do it. Let's see what we got. Move my mirror down. Let's just... Yep. We good. Oh. That worked out so well. There's the rest of the street. That's a city bus. Earlier, maybe my time lapse captured it. There was a hobo that needed to be ejected off of a bus, and firemen came. Life would be so boring without the hobos to keep things interesting. All right, well. Just barely makes it. How delicately I have to hold that. Just with the tips of my fingers. All right. Oh, one more. Wow, this weather has turned out to be great. My 32 or 34 foot ladder, whatever it is, I can't remember. It's like there's nothing wrong with this ladder. I feel perfectly stable. I'm trying to do everything in one move, which is tricky. Like, look at the mess on the end of that brush. See, the thing I don't want to happen is I don't want drips. Because I do not have a touch-up color for this wall. It's a dark gray, so for tiny drips I could mix up a little. This isn't even the brush I need. I've made a silly move. I'll just play this off. Playing it off, feathering it out. I like to do the outsides, the easier part first, instead of doing this between the conduit thing first, but whatever, I've got good marks. Something about when that's done and that's done, my eye can kind of fill in the parts that are missing. Maybe I'll just go a little bit shy of my mark. I'll just go right to my mark. And then the part that's a vibe I'll be able to do. Sign painting is a vibe. I'm going to put my hood up to keep the sun off me. Oh man, that messes up my camera. Oh god, was that a bee? I think I saw a wasp. That's always the way it is, you know. I don't see wasps for like, I haven't seen a wasp in a month. But then I'm up on my 34 foot ladder. It might be a 32. And that's the day I see another wasp. This is like a game of operation. Look, I gotta take my loaded painty brush, and that is messy. Look, it's like a mop. It's just like a mop. Sneak it in between these conduit and then wiggle the paint down to the mark. And then pull it out without touching the conduit. Wait, no, I gotta get back in. I missed a spot over here. I gotta go back and forth to see both sides of it. Alright. Maybe I'll stop blabbering and just paint for a while. Probably within acceptable parameters. These conduit get closer together. Alright, and I remember from other signs that I painted at this site that the A does not come together. The counter of the A, the top of it has a straight line. Just a little tiny bit. So I'm going to add that even though I can't see it in my transfer. Because I couldn't get my transfer in there, I had to fill that in with a pencil. Alright. I'm mopping the paint behind the thing. I promise I'm going to clam up. Okay. Oh, I got to do that. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to like sort of zen out maybe. It's new to me trying to do both, trying to zen out, which is what it's like when you're painting a sign. But also shoot a video at the same time. Also, I'm sorry if I sniffle. Oh no! Oh no, and I smeared it on the wall. That's why I brought my water bottle. And a good bit of rag. Ah, it's already dry. Good thing this rag is sandpapery. It's just like this crappy fabric. It's kind of abrasive. This was one of my best t-shirts from a really long time ago, and that was an Old Navy t-shirt that I wore for years, a ringer. Whatever. Okay, I'm going to do that fancy thing again where I spread them apart with my hand. I am Greg Gannon of the Baltimore Gannons, painter of signs and murals. Oh, I went over the line. I'll just play it off. Just finesse that line. This brush. This brush is sad. Alright. Go into my paint. Okay, I'm going to hit a nice sharp corner. I'm going to clean this up. I got a little bit of paint on my brush. My handle. In a situation like this, if I get too much paint on my hands, I'll make a mess. Corner. Oh, that was rough. Corner. Still cornering. Alright, I guess that's an acceptable corner. Wow. It's too much paint. Did that. Corner goes this side. Second attempt. Nailed it. Oh, that's ugly. Okay, it's gotten scabby, so I'm not going to go back. I'm tempted to, I'm going to smooth it out, but it's the paint has gotten, it's drying really fast. 60-degree day. October 2025. And I might as well tell you, I'm at 1 East Pratt Street in Baltimore, Maryland. This was designed by Younts Design. Like many of the projects that I paint. Should I switch to the bigger brush? I do have a real brush. If anybody's watching who is in the trade, you're going to be like, why is he painting with that little artist brush? Well, this is a Royal and Langnickel. Which used to be a common sign painter's brush brand. I think this is actually for acrylic paint, but I'm using house paint, Bare Premium. Ultra pure white. Dip in. Maybe I'll switch to the real brush. Maybe I'll switch to the house painting brush. But there's just so many obstacles here with the conduit. Up here I had these little bits that were different. I had to get the little mop brush for that. Hopefully I have a good time lapse and I'll be able to show me going up and down the ladder. Grabbing the stuff I forgot to bring up the first time. For me though, this went really smoothly. Planned it all out really well yesterday. Whenever I get on a lift or a tall ladder, it's pretty normal to forget a few things. You gotta bring everything you need for the transfer. And then everything you need for the paint. Well, that's how I'm doing it. I don't usually do it that way. Usually I do the transfer the whole thing, and then switch into paint mode. So that's another weird thing I had to do today, was pack for both, because it's such a pain to move this ladder. It's tied in 2 spots. That works well. I always, if you can see the transfer mark, I have no idea if other sign painters do this. I think most of them tend to paint right to the mark, but I always put my mark just about a 1/16 of an inch inside of the line. When I'm perforating these patterns. So if I paint over the mark, that's perfect. later there might be a lot of yelling behind me. By the employee entrance to a hotel. When people get out of work, they're jubilant. Sorry about that sniffle. There's really kind of two ways to paint a straight line on a textured surface. And I feel like now, since it's been painted so many times, this wall, I'm getting away with doing it the quick way, which is you're just getting the right amount of paint in the brush and going in both directions. You cut down and you cut back up, and that texture does the same thing, only reversed, and you end up with a straight line. Sometimes you have to just really tediously push the paint in between the nooks and crannies, like that's a lot less zen. This way is like when you do it the fast way, it's really relaxing. I should probably edit out when that guy came by with a motorcycle with the loud music coming out of the motorcycle. That I think I could get a trademark infringement for that. I'm just using a straight edge to try to get a better line in between these conduits. I hope the client doesn't want me to paint the conduit. Although it's not like I'm wasting time with this. Painting the conduit's kind of a separate step. You gotta pick what kind of viewpoint you want it to look right from. Which obviously should be from back there. Okay, yeah, I'm missing a little bit of paint right there. Just gonna bring that down a hair. Whoop. Look from up here. How it looks just like a mop, just like pushing your wash water into the corner with a mop. Oop, I need some in there. First coat is like soapy coat of wash water, and the second coat is like the rinse. Feather that out. Wow. Get out of here. There's a bug. There's a bug. There's a wasp. Ah! Did you see that? He landed on my sleeve. I had to flick him. I wonder if that's the one that was here when I got here this morning. There was a bee or a wasp waiting for me at the top of the wall this morning. You know what? I'm going to go get a fresh rag Temperature's rising here a little bit. I might need to take my long underwear off. Let's see what kind of temperature we got here. Where's my thermometer? Yeah, wow. Well, that's maybe partially in the sun. Let's put my thermometer there. Check it again in a few minutes. This is a full-sized painter van, but it's still not easy to get your long underwear off. Second row of seats is kind of cramped. But this is worth it. I don't want to start sweating. There it is. Tear it right there. Tape right there. Now I've got at least one piece that's in place. Alright. I gotta just tear along my perforation. Oof. Just inside. Whole thing. Do I have that mark? Ooh, I do have most of that mark. That will help me to line it up. A little bit down. Okay, good. Oh, why can't I slide it under this? There we go. Put a couple of little dots. There, I got that. What about up top? Okay. Can I get even further? Look, I can. Moving it down. That's this will, man. Okay. All right, I'm gonna put my mark. I'm gonna have a little, yeah, that'll do. Alright, I'm ready to paint. This thing gets more and more like a mop. It's pretty perfect though. This will be a good part. No, wait, I need to get a little of the paint. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's a big smudge. Sign painting emergency. What was I doing? I was gathering paint, and then I was going to hit this line, which I can't see. It's not there, but I'm looking there. So I come, just letting my arm do it. Okay. See, when I hit that mark, and I pull that way, I'm aiming for that mark. It'll work, although I have nothing here to make that up. So I'm in there. I'm gonna make some stuff up now. There. Huh? Yeah. I'll mop it in there. Wow, this brush is getting ragged. It's got split ends. Alright, I'm gonna go take a look at that from the ground before I correct that curve. Maybe I'll even go take a picture from the ground. I have a feeling this is gonna look choppy. Like with the lines, I'm not connecting the dots with a curve, I'm connecting them with a straight line, and it's gonna look choppy. Look at that. It's looking good. That's pretty tight. Alright, that's good. Let's see. Guess I'll do a flood coat here, because that was a lot of paint. Sort of a nubbly bit on the wall. You know what I should do? Probably if I accidentally cuss, I should stop the video and start another clip. Because then the cuss will be at the end of the clip, and I'll be more likely to catch it. Or I could just learn to not cuss even when a wasp comes and flies by my head. Can I do that? I'm going to squish some paint up out of the heel. It's like a beating heart. Pointy. Nice. Should wash this brush out. Ooh, that was rough. You know what? It kind of works. That line's got to go further under the conduit. Just like a 1/4 inch. Alright, you know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to second coat this, and maybe you guys don't... Maybe you don't need to watch me second coat it. Doot. Carol and I always used to say, if the first coat takes you 1 hour, the second coat would take you like 20 minutes. It's faster. You don't have to be quite as careful about the edges, because the edges tend to get a heavier coat on the first go. But look, this is too good. And the registration mark goes all the way up under the conduit. That is... When does that ever happen? Kind of move over a tad. Maybe there. Looks level. That's way off. There. That's good. Can't believe that worked. Wow. Still good. Whenever you paint the word parking, you're also painting the word king. And whenever you paint the word stairs, you're painting IRS. That's good. This is going way better than I thought. I had to use a lot of tape. It's still a little bit windy out here. More tape there. Yep. Okay, now I'm going to make the big transition down to there. I have another ladder below me. Can I just let this go? No. I'm going to put a piece of tape inside the end of the roll. That usually works. You know what? I'm going to put a piece of tape. I'm going to put it here. Put it there. Good. That's good. I'm saying that is good. I'm calling that good. All right. You know, I'm taking that with me. King. King. Yeah. Once we get that, we've got the entire first leg of the L. Just level, use the level over from there. That's good. This stuff's good for your boogies. It makes the boogies a fun color. Today it will be blue. Gotta love a letter I. Pounce pad's wearing out a little bit. I posted about that recently. See, this is the kind of thing that messes up your pounce pads. That's a cut-off like lag bolt screw. It's very sharp. That'll mess up your pounce pad. I mean, you can hit those like maybe 10 or 20 times before you tear a hole. If you're gentle. Look at this snazzy G. I mean, I know it's sideways, you can't really see. I could post this on Instagram as is, and it would be legible. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh, we're in business. Put a little foldy tab on these pieces of tape. Oh boy, that's out of control. I'm just gonna let that flap. That's flapping, that's okay. Go ahead and flap. Flap yourself right into the inner harbor. I'm okay with that. It's just paper. Might give the fishies blue boogers. Do fishies get boogers? Here, fishy, 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 fishy. We did it. We did it, you guys. All right, I think I'm just gonna paint. I really like the alphabet that this sign is laid out in, that they used in the parking garage here. I don't know the name of the font. I like to share that. I like to talk about the name of the font. Sometimes they're really exclusive. luxury font, you know. So maybe the designers wouldn't always want me saying them. I don't know, we've never talked about it. I run into them all the time. See them around town. Like at the grocery store. I gotta really persuade this brush by wiggling it like that on the wall. See, and I laid off a lot of extra paint. This brush, it must have some paint buildup in the heel, because that's still a good point. Then I gotta go back and brush that stuff out. Hold my head up high and get that little bit of line. Okay, that's good. Now we got to get this ladder out of the way to paint the G. I should pair this back up with its bottom. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I don't need the moneymaker. Maybe I'm not in it for the money anymore. He says, Riley. That was good. That felt really good. I'm going to keep going. I say like it just occurred to me. Oh, maybe I'll finish this. Maybe it should say the whole word. I mean, look how much the brush is like fanning out. Not what you want. Maybe I should give this one a soak. Maybe this one's good enough that it's worth soaking in Murphy's oil soap. I sure have painted a few signs with it. I don't know what time it is. Ah! Damn it. Over the line. Maybe I'll need to touch up color. I've got the name of it. I could go get some. The painters left me all the interior, well, the painters left me the colors for L1 and L2, but not this. It's a really nice color. It's some kind of bronze. Alright, I'm going to hit this corner and then I'm going to do a little cleanup. Put some things away. Brush. Need a little more paint to paste these errant bristles together with, and then I can shape it, push that corner out. Just want to get a little bit further out with that corner. Alright. I think I got it. Back down to 60 degrees. I can't believe I'm warm enough. It's like 52 right now. And I didn't wear my long underwear today. I'm gonna have a lot more workability right now since I'm not in the sun. I got kind of a late start yesterday. Had a nice breakfast with the fan. I'm getting started earlier today, but I did have a nice breakfast with the kiddo today. We had English muffins with butter, just like when I was a kid and my dad would make me English muffins. This brush needs to be combed out. It needs a real washing. This brush spent the night in a bucket of water after putting in such a long hard day yesterday. I mean, you got a feel for a brush like this. This was meant for artists, this brush. Also, you know what? This is high drama right here. I made my transfer like that with a flat bottom on this G. G's don't have flat bottoms. I failed to realize that there was like a faceted corner here. So I'm going to fake this. I don't have a transfer for it, but I'm just going to bring it around that corner because it's a rounded letter. The only one in the word parking that has a rounded bottom. Just going to have it dip below the baseline. A lot of people who paint signs but are not necessarily sign painters don't know about rounded letters dropping below the baseline. Okay, I can accept that, you know, like it's some alphabets might even look better that way, with a flat, or with, you know, with rounded letters that stop right on the baseline. I need to get my little mop of a brush. Do you think my mop can do that? No, that's too thin. I need to get another brush. See that little flat bit right there? I always include the flat bits. Any required flat bits, I keep them flat. It is just warm enough to paint with cheap house paint. But this is premium house paint. This would dry even if it was 38 degrees, much colder. This big divot in the wall. What do you think put a divot like that in the wall? Oh yeah, I think I had a good point and then forgot. This brush, I don't think when they made it they were intending for it to be spending all day outside applying house paint. This is for artists' acrylic, where you paint a picture. It's doing such a great job though. Painted almost all of the directionals in this garage with this brush. It's a Royal and Langnickel if you are keeping track. Do a little squishy. You can see this brush is fanning out, but look how I got the corner, like sort of squishing it. Not perfect. Whatever, that's perfect. Now I'm going to pull it outward. Boop boop. I was just talking to the guys from engineering. In this building, and they were saying they're going to Granger, which is interesting. I only think of getting like nuts and bolts there, but they sell everything. They're buying window film. For Harbor Place. Okay, this is going to have a slightly flared terminal. You know, a lot of old sign painting alphabets have flared terminals because they actually look straighter than a straight line. They look sharper. They're subtly flared. You know what? I think I didn't show any second coating. I didn't record at all during the second coat of any of the letters yesterday, so I should probably do some of that today. Let's get that little bit that's missing. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, that's not good enough. That would do it. That's really soft. This is actually a makeup brush. Of course, the liners would do it, but they would take a long time. I often reach for one like this. That's too small. I've used up all of the good ones. Let's check my other container. All right, here we have my proper art bin. With more smaller brushes. There's also an X-Acto knife in here, I think. I have to be careful. There's the X-Acto knife. That's too soft. This is like from kid's painting kit. It's a Crayola brush. I love me some Crayola brushes, but not these very soft ones. You know what? There he is. This will put the paint on really thinly, but this is such a good brush. It's like, this is a natural, no, it's not natural, but it's stiffer towards the heel and it's softer at the tips. That's what the most premium brushes offer. Had a couple of sips of Diet Cola and I already feel like, I don't know, 12% more awake than before. All right, let's get to it. Very thin. Very slow progress, but whatever. Slow and steady wins the race. That really applies in sign painting. And it's something I've kind of wanted to make a video about, but the idea is too diffuse in my head at the moment. It's like, what would I talk about? I mean, there we go. We go. Let's go. All right. But I guess what we talk about is, this is what we talk about. It seems slow, but I did that in less than an 8-hour day. I think that was about 7 hours. I really didn't get started until 10:30 or 11, and I worked until 5 with no lunch break. What a snazzy G, huh? It's really nice having all of these pockets. Can I? No, I'll pocket it. Should do an intro for this video. It says, hope you like the sounds of buses idling. Oops. That's some real fine tuning. Catch you on the next one. Can I say like and subscribe while this fire truck goes by? Like and subscribe. Watch another one.